of MMA. But Koрешkov with those spinning attacks, he does have that reach advantage. 76-inch reach compared to 72.5 for Lorenz-Larkin.
A night that opens a new weight class and closes the quarterfinals of the lightweight Grand Prix begins, as always, with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Bellator Japan Live on Showtime. From the iconic Saitama Super Arena, we extend a special welcome to the brave men and women serving around the world. And joining us tonight on AFN, the American Forces Network. And now, tonight, the action gets underway inside the cage with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'11", weighing in 170.6 pounds, the former welterweight title challenger brings 25 professional victories, 7 losses. Right now at number 9, presenting Lorenz, the Monster. And across the cage is adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 6'1", weighing in 170.8 pounds, the former Bellator welterweight world champion enters with 26 professional victories, 4 defeats. He's currently ranked at number 5, introducing Andrei Martin Koрешkov. And your referee in charge, Kerry Hatley.
About 30 years ago, a bunch of guys sat down and said, you know what, this new sport's great, but we need some cool rules.
We do, and Bellator has fought under the unified MMA rules. That is a 10-point most scoring system with the winner awarded 10 points, the opponent getting 9 or less. That is based upon effective striking, grappling, then followed by aggressiveness and cage control. Our feature bouts are 3 5-minute rounds, with our championships, Grand Prix, and main events are all 5 5-minute rounds.
It always reminds me of Spicoli passing the test at the end saying, yeah, we need some new rules. And then he said, we don't get new rules. We're not going to be cool.
That's it.
Now, don't adjust your device. The crowds in Japan are different. They are respectful and they are quiet.
They absolutely understand all the elements of MMA, and when something happens, you're going to hear them. They just explode, but then they get quiet again as a respect for the fighters.
Koрешkov has been a very fast starter. Ask Ben Henderson, among others. He had a run 2014, 2015, 2016. It seemed like he went 3 years without losing a round.
Yeah, he has been just an outstanding. You know, when we talk about staying consistent, it's so difficult in MMA to stay based upon injuries, training, all these different things. He's always stayed in that consistent fashion. Same coach all the time with Alexander Shlemenko.
Particularly for a fighter who's had issues with visas and travel.
Yeah, honestly, when you're looking, visas have been his biggest problem in the cage.
Start strong here. You saw the spinning attack trying to set up some of this.
Nice attack to the body also. And you're going to see Koрешkov many times, just like you just saw, just a change of levels to see where the hands of Lorenz-Larkin's go. Does Lorenz bring his hands down to stop that takedown, or does Lorenz keep his hands in place? You'll see Koрешkov actually just feint the takedown and try to bring the right hand or the left hand over the top.
Remember when Koрешkov won the world title when he beat Douglas Lima? Everyone assumed he was going to stand the entire time, and he out-wrestled Douglas Lima in that fight for 5 rounds. It's one of the great Bellator trilogies. Douglas Lima won the final 2, regaining the world title in Tel Aviv.
You know, if you talk to Douglas Lima, one of the things he'll say is, you know, no one wants to fight Koрешkov. He goes, I just kept having to fight over and over again, but nice left hook by Koрешkov.
Level change and the takedown.
And beautifully done, well timed by Koрешkov. And the real question is here, how does he keep Lorenz-Larkin down? You see Lorenz putting his back to the cage. Smart move by Lorenz. He's just trying to bide his time. But look at the use of the legs by Koрешkov, using his legs to actually hold on to the legs of Lorenz-Larkin. That's going to keep Lorenz down until he gets his legs free.
You've refereed here. You've called fights here. Have you seen fighters thrown by the lack of noise. And then the second part of that is it different now when almost all of these fighters have been through COVID and fought now in empty buildings?
Boy, it's a great question because I think it really has changed the fact based upon when we were doing fights in empty arenas, you know, and fighters got used to that empty sound. Now it's not a big thing, but most fighters want to come to Japan. Most want to perform in front of these fans because they know that the fans understand what they're doing, and when they're doing something that is difficult and special, they get the reaction from the crowd.
A reminder, coming up next, you will hear Danny Sabatello.
You will hear Danny talking.
Koрешkov not really advancing this position, but he's already done some damage and been more active earlier in the round.
Well, what he's trying to do is that Dagestani leg tie that you're seeing right there, that leg lace. That's a figure 4 of it, and you're seeing Lorenz getting his right leg free. But Lorenz in this position is saying, well, I'm not getting damaged, and so I'll let. And he just looks over at me, and he says, I'll let him work hard. I'm not working hard right now. I'm going to let Koрешkov burn himself out. Burn your arms out trying to hold me down, and when I get up, I'm going to explode.
And he's a guy who hasn't taken a lot of damage, and he's talked about that this week at age 36, fighting as well as he ever has. And a guy he has shared a cage with and has a win over, Robbie Lawler, obviously retired. And he talked about how some of the other fighters his age have just taken a lot more damage.
Well, it's so, you know, it's an accurate statement. And I tell people all the time, you can only crash your car so many times before your car it's a piece of junk. And so as a fighter, it's great to be in those battles and be in those wars, but you want to be like a Lorenz Larkin where you're the one being the hammer. You don't want to be the nail. Very nice move by Koрешkov there to keep Lorenz. Lorenzo was almost had his hand to the ground, was swinging his legs out. He caught the leg, kept him on the ground. But again, this can win the round based if Lorenz is unable to do damage to him. But it's not doing any kind of damage to Lorenz, and it's not really putting any strain on Lorenz. The guy that's working harder at this moment right now is Koрешkov, and he's taking some of those elbows. Those don't feel good. Nice move right there by Koрешkov to try to explode, get up. Larkin back on his feet. Now Larkin has to press.
Koрешkov, he certainly was biding his time throughout that first round. This is when he decided to shoot.
Yeah, it's so well timed. You see him throw the combination here. Boom, throws that left hook. Here he comes. Left hook, and then drops levels. Beautifully done, right into the legs. Nice driving double leg takedown, but you see Lorenz scooting back. But let's be honest, that takedown, although it didn't do a whole lot, it put Koрешkov in position to be the winner of the round based upon the stand-up was basically even, and you're taking a look at the grappling section. Obviously, Koрешkov wins it. He's going to take that round, in my opinion, 10-9.
I asked Koрешkov the other day even though he feels he's a better fighter now, obviously at 32, as opposed to how dominant he was. So what would you tell? What was that fighter missing? What would you tell him? He said everything. And he, and yet we watched him just dominate elite world-class competition. He fought 2 straight fights, winning the title from Douglas Lima and his first title defense against Ben Henderson. He didn't just beat; he won all 10 of those rounds.
Oh, I mean,
some
easily.
of them big.
Yeah. But one of the things that makes Lorenz Larkin so difficult to deal with in the stand-up is he does throw things straight most of the time. Obviously, he's going to throw looping shots, hooks, things like that, but likes straight right hand down the middle. They get there fast and they're accurate.
This is where the first fight started to turn.
And right in those positions, that's a nice attempt at the spinning back fist by Koрешkov, but you're leaving yourself open. You're giving that opportunity to Larkin to counter it.
Koрешkov won the first round in the first fight 4 years ago. We spent a lot of time when 2 guys get back together and it's a rematch talking about the first fight. But when 4 years has gone by, are you still taking stuff from that, or are guys different fighters?
Well, you got to figure you're going to take some things from it, but you also realize look, he's going to be a little bit different. There's going to be little things, but he's going to be basically the same guy. And what was it that worked for me in that first fight? What was he having problems with, and what did he do that created problems for me? Those are things I want to work on.
Larkin seeing those spinning attacks coming. He landed a good low leg kick. 15 seconds ago, and remember when Koрешkov lost the title, he got careless. And the reason he got careless is because Douglas Lima was kicking the living daylights out of his legs.
Yeah. And one of the things that you're seeing, though, right now, Larkin is the one that's starting to control the distance of this fight. And we talked about the length of Koрешkov. He has the reach advantage. That's why you're seeing Larkin is taking, and he's bringing himself inside of that kickboxing range, more into a boxing range. That takes a lot of that reach advantage away and a lot of the spinning attacks that Koрешkov likes to unleash. Koрешkov is not going to get that takedown with that type of attempt. But he's got him up against the cage, and here he can do some work, a little bit of dirty boxing, grind on him, try to wear his arms down.
This is right when the first fight turned heavily in Larkin's favor, almost at a knockout in round 2.
Absolutely, it was a moment off of the cage.
Yeah,
and you saw with that elbow that Larkin threw against Berkimov. I mean, he is devastating as far as his ability to generate power in a very short distance.
Fair to say that Lorenz Larkin seems to be a little more relaxed and looser and playing with house money at this stage of his career.
He's always been that guy that is, he doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't look at his opponents and, he'll keep his eyes down. Lorenz is just a different type of breed. He's very, very intellectual. He looks at things and he breaks things down, and he just says, hey, I don't have to win every minute of the fight. I just have to win the fight. And that's what a smart fighter does. See, this is that's nice as far as the spinning attack off of it to break off. But you saw when Lorenz is pushing the head down, that's a lot of energy being spent by Koрешkov to stay in that position. So it was good to see him break off.
Number 2, a lot of energy expended by Koрешkov trying to keep Larkin down in that first round.
Koрешkov throwing with a lot of power. He's putting a lot on these. Oh, there's that
elbow.
Same elbow strike he put Berkimov with. You heard him with it too. That's why you see Koрешkov, he felt it. That's why he's going back at that point. Right now, as you're looking at this, Koрешkov is winning this fight, but it is Lorenz Larkin that is the fresher fighter at this moment. We're going to see if that has any kind of change coming through the rest of this fight. Koрешkov's been working very hard, a lot of grappling. His arms are getting a little heavy, a lot of lactic acid in there. That's not easy to continue that pace.
Come on. Hey, little body work to get to the C clap. Little body work. Body work now, get to the C clap.
And you see Larkin is using his left hand on the bicep. He can use that on the bicep, putting pressure down. That's making Koрешkov work, or he wants to dig that underhook and turn Koрешkov in this position, because Koрешkov with that left hand in that underhook, that's how he's keeping his position with beautiful head position too.
Certainly a better round in a lot of ways for Larkin, but did he do enough to win it?
Yeah, that's the real question as you look at it. Larkin's had his moments, but so has Koрешkov, and Koрешkov has been the guy that's actually, been leading the pace.
I wonder about those couple of elbows, though, that Larkin did land, including that last one. When the first fight was so close between these two, and that was a very close round, too. Do you hold the pen over the paper a little extra second when it's a super close round?
No, as a judge, when you're a commentator, yes, because you're talking and you're not, doing the same things to monitor the fight. But as the judge, you should know. Once that bell goes off, you know who, based upon the way that you're looking at it, with, almost like a scale of saying who's in the lead. And as soon as that round goes, you're going to put your mark down.
Yeah, you're not doing like eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
No. If you're doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you should be outside.
See on the Bellator cage there, Logan Storley, the #1 contender.
Our gentleman, third
to Amosov and his return, and Brennan Ward, that fight coming up.
He's got his hands full with Brennan Ward.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Brennan is power personified.
Brennan Ward was on track to fight Andre Koreshkov for the world title, and then when Ben Henderson got signed at the start of 2016, that fight got changed, and it sort of altered the career direction for both guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brennan Ward actually fought Koreshkov's coach for the middleweight title at one time.
Now, as we're talking about later with Shinyu fighting So Young, Brennan Ward, just at that point, he had a meteoric rise, but that was a huge level up against LeMaker.
Absolutely, and this is where we go into that. You don't know what you don't know until all of a sudden you know, and that's when you're facing that person that everything that you've done before works. Now it doesn't, and they're putting you in positions that you've never been put in before. That's fighting. There's levels.
What about someone like Josh, who just never seems to know what he doesn't know ever?
Josh is a very intelligent fighter in the cage, man. I was in the cage many times with him, and he was always super smart in there, and that tells you exactly what he is on the outside.
I'm interested to hear his take on this fight and the Koreshkov strategy.
I love
I do too.
The Koreshkov strategy is exactly what you would expect him to do in order to get a win against Lorenz Larkin. And here's where Larkin needs to start to really, I can't sit, I've got to go.
Because there's an element of, all right, I stay cool under pressure,
yeah.
I stay in control,
I'm not
but
getting damaged.
He hasn't been on offense really in this
exactly.
fight.
I'm not getting damaged, but I'm not going to win.
Can't let him recollect those legs. That's all he's going to do. Come on, Lorenz, come on. Yes. Андрей, локти, смотри его. Смотри его локти. Сядь на его ногу. Вот поднял голову.
Koreshkov goes back to the early days of Bellator, the early tournament format, won the welterweight tournament twice. First, the title shot when he was 22 against Ben Askren. And if he beats Lorenz Larkin here, that Ben Askren fight will be the only unavenged loss because he has a win over Douglas Lane, but who's
That's right. Right now, he's keeping those hands clasped around the waist of Lorenz. Lorenz is trying to put pressure down on him, trying to hit him with elbows at times to, get his attention and make him move. And you see all that pressure that Lorenz is putting on the head. That's a great job, and that's making it to where Andre has a hard time moving his body to any other position. You see the figure four, he's trying to get on the legs here so he can do something different. But Lorenz is going to have to explode. He's going to have to say, I've got to take chances now. I've got to get myself moving because he's just going to hold on to it.
If we see it one way, it's hardly out of the realm of possibility that a judge or two saw the second round for Larkin.
Absolutely. Could have. It could, this could be even right now, and so you got to look and say, man, not only do I want to finish, but I've got to make it to where the judges at least know that I win this last round. Nice shot again by Koreshkov. Clean right hand. Koreshkov looking tired.
He is. Again, look at that late first round.
And this is what we were talking about.
He's taking shots now.
Oh, he took a big shot right there. That's a big elbow.
Through.
He's hurt.
Yeah, Lorenz Larkin has Koreshkov staggered here.
Yeah. And Lorenz doing a nice job. He's not crushing the space. He's looking for that opening. Nice knee. Oh, nice job by Koreshkov to get the back on that. Basically a duck under to the back. No doubt Larkin had Koreshkov hurt there, and Koreshkov just dug deep. Nice duck under, takes him back to the ground. Lorenz has got to get back to what he was doing earlier. He's got to get himself out of this position, back to his feet, so he can use his striking ability.
Koreshkov was absolutely hurt, and it looked to me like Larkin wasn't fighting in that moment like a guy who thought he was down 0-2. Like here's my opportunity.
And you could be right. And it could be. This is, that round where you take a look and you go,
second round.
You don't know, so you got to be looking for that finish. Right here, he needs to fight the hands. He's trying to break those hands apart. There, he's got them apart now. Now, high crotch for Koreshkov. Great job by Larkin pushing on the head. That's going to keep Koreshkov from being able to get his hips in, which is going to make Lorenz Larkin light. Koreshkov just just gutting it out right now. There's a lot of weight on him, a lot of pressure. He's trying to get this final takedown. He knows he gets this takedown, he's going to get this round is the way he's looking at it.
4 years ago, a super close fight that came down to probably a single 10-second span in round 2. 4 years later, an almost identical fight.
Nice round for Larkin. The real question is which way do the judges go in that second round?
And always remind you, when you see a fight at the end, and you see one guy up walking around dancing and the other guy completely exhausted and spent, sometimes that's not a great sign to be that guy who still has all the energy left. Maybe
no,
you didn't
and that's the point. It's like, you know, oh, I'm able to walk around and look good. Well, then you should have used it in the fight. Great job of getting that double leg by Koрешkov. This is what happened in the first round. And he did a great job with the body shots. He went to the body a lot. And this is where Larkin in the third round really started landing heavy shots. The big elbows, you see Koрешkov is hurt, a little bit buzzed there. Ends up, the knee doesn't hit where it's supposed to. He ducks under, gets the takedown, and from that point, rode out on the top position with Larkin. Tough fight for both guys. We're going to see which way it goes.
With advice from the Storm, Koreshkov's got another 15 minutes with the monsoon. This has 29-28 written all over it. Andrei Koreshkov beaten by Lorenz Larkin 4 years ago by a single point in a split decision. His history about to repeat. Michael C. Williams will tell us.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first, Sal D'Amato, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Koreshkov. Your second judge, Brian Miner, 29-28, scoring the fight for Larkin. Your third and final judge at cage side, Michael Bell, scoring the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Andrei Spartan Koreshkov.